The best thing that I like to do in my life is to walk around the streets in downtown. Because I could call back my memories and I could flash back my best days. And since I remembered my good old days as a child, so I have to remember the best thing that I like to eat, liver and brain. Oh, the first person taught me that was Uncle Mitchell. I always follow my senses, even if I didn't know where I'm going. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
I would like to apply for Cyprus visa, if you please.
This is your first time?
Yes, ma'am.
The reason of the visit?
It's a very, very long story, but it's very interesting.
I would like to hear it.
I was born in Mansoura, and over there in Mansoura was a little store that made great sandwiches. She listened to my story, and she was very helpful and understanding, and she told me all about the documents needed for the visa. Thanks, ma'am. And after a few hours, I got the visa. You may say I'm crazy. It's okay. I'm going to Cyprus. Oh dear, and now I will start the journey of looking for Uncle Mitchell. What is that feeling? I feel like I'm still in Egypt. It's very strange. I don't know what it is. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Thank you very well.
My name is Nader. I'm from Egypt.
Yes, I understand. And my name is Andreas.
Andreas.
Andreas Alubas.
Andreas Alupas.
Yes,
Pleased to meet you, sir.
me too.
Do you know what I'm here for?
No.
You don't know. Okay, let me tell you the story. Growing up in my town, when I was a child, about 6 years old, we had little store who makes beautiful, delicious sandwiches,
Yes,
owned by a guy from Cyprus. His name was Mitchell. Everybody in my generation, maybe older than me, knows very well. Mitchell's sandwiches, you could smell it from miles away.
can I say something?
Sure.
My father, he was in Egypt.
Your father.
My father,
Your father was born in Egypt?
Fagus.
Fa'us.
Fagus.
Oh,
Yes, we've been there.
oh,
Yes,
okay. There is a great bind between Egypt and Cyprus.
yes.
You know something? This man was like a father figure to me. I loved him so much. And I went to Cyprus embassy to get the visa. And I'm here to look for him. I'm trying to get his address. Anybody who maybe know him or a relative, somebody can lead me to him.
You have any address for him?
I'm looking for it.
The name?
Mitchell. That's all I know.
Mitchell. I don't know.
Mitchell was not just the owner of the restaurant that I went to eat in, but also he had a great impact and effect on my personality since my childhood. Oh my God, look at that. Even the grocery store, they call it Bakali, just like us. It's incredible. The streets are very similar to Egypt. Even people here, they look like us. I feel like I'm walking downtown Cairo also, as if I didn't leave home. Even the cafe is just like back home. What's going on? Am I still in Egypt or what? Look at her, if you know what I mean. Where I'm going to? Where to start? I don't know. But I have to keep moving. I found out that October 1st is a very important day here, Independence Day. So I decided to go there and to watch. And over there, I met a nice guy. His name is Exenius. Exenius was kind enough to offer to help me in my journey to search for Uncle Mitchell. He suggested to take me to meet people who have relation with Egypt. Maybe that would lead us to Uncle Mitchell. The first one I went to meet was Dr. Papastavros. Exenius told me he had some relatives in Alexandria.
First of all, I have to say a warm salam alaikum to the Egyptian friends.
Alaykum salam, thank you.
I know the very basic Arabic expressions because I worked for years in a number of Arab countries, and also I visited most of them all over the world. I can say that in the Eastern Mediterranean area, as we are located, Egypt and Cyprus, it's not only the memories that go back, but it is the geography that is still there and is still there, and give us back in our mind the very nice memories we used to have by visiting Egypt in particular, but also on the way to Greece, because in the 50s and the 60s and some years of the 70s, ships going from Cyprus to Greece used to have a stopover in Alexandria. My mother, as I remember very well, she used to say that she had some relatives in Alexandria.
Yeah.
And in particular, I remember an uncle, as we used to call him, coming in the 59, on that time. And he opened a small shop, as my mother used to say. But I remember him very well. He was specialist in pastries, in baklava, kadaifi, all these very nice Egyptian aromas and goods. So he used to do the same in Cyprus for some years.
Sure. So talk to me about your visit to Alexandria, when you were trying to track him down or to see where he lived, or...
Yeah, we are a small team visiting Cairo and then Alexandria and the Sharm el-Sheikh. We spend a full morning time to find the house where Kavafis was born, but also at the same time we enjoy the Alexandria souk and kebab and these very nice aromas in this big city, an important city of Egypt.
So you had a good time there?
Yes.
Did you finally track down the house?
Yes,
Did you find out where he lived?
Yes.
Isn't that something?
Yes, it's very nice to touch these old times of your community.
I was taken by his conversation, and he took me back in time with him about his relation with Egypt. And at the end, he told me that unfortunately he didn't know anything about Uncle Mitchell. Exenius suggested that I have to meet Mr. Kevork Mahdisian because he has great relations with Egypt.
When I was a child, I remember a lot of Egyptian nationals coming to Cyprus for the summer holidays. And I remember even King Farouk coming to Platras and thinking of buying a place up there. And I remember as a child, I was running after the car. It was a convertible, and King Farouk was sitting in there, and we were all up in the village there. on holiday in the summers. We used to go up the mountains,
Yeah.
the families. And so when they said King Farouk, we were running after this car to see the close-up, from close-up, the king.
And of course, it was very important to me to go visit the hotel where King Farouk used to stay when he visited Cyprus.
My mother had the Hotel Victoria in Cairo,
Okay.
in Ibrahim Pasha, or Gumuria now, and got to know the king from there.
Okay.
And when in 1946 he came the first time to the hotel here,
Okay.
it was in the summertime, and we had to ask all the guests to give up their bedrooms. There were bays and people like that
Oh my
to
God.
give their bedrooms and take them to the hotel in Troodos, where
Another
we were
hotel.
renting, because there were no rooms. He had taken all his entourage, you know.
Oh.
He came and he took all these bedrooms.
That was back in 1946.
1946.
Oh.
And he came a second time in 1948.
You were a
And
child by
I
the
was
time.
a child at that time. I was
Okay.
7 years old.
Okay.
But we were swimming by our little cottage in Limassol, and we saw the royal yacht come in.
Okay.
And about half an hour later, someone came with a bicycle, because there were no telephones in those days.
Uh-huh.
And he told him, His Majesty is here and he's expecting you to go to the customs to bring him up to the hotel.
Oh my God.
And he stayed here about 5 days. And he used to take him to Nicosia to see the dancing and so on.
Okay.
And one night they arrived at the embassy at 3 o'clock in the morning
Okay.
and knocked at the door, and the ambassador came down in his pajamas, and he didn't expect to see His Majesty. You see?
Okay.
That's how it was.
I'm sorry, let me just stop you for a second here.
Yes.
Was that King Farouk's car?
No. This is my car. This
Oh.
is a much newer car. This is a 1962 model.
Oh.
It's a Sunbeam Rapier.
Okay.
The Roots company. We have the other car in the garage.
Oh.
The Chevrolet you will see
Oh.
in the garage.
I thought that's
Yes,
his.
no.
Okay.
This is a much more modern car.
It's a beauty.
It's quite a nice car. I've
Okay.
had for the last 53 years now.
Oh.
Yes,
It's kept in excellent condition.
It's in good condition. It's the original paint and everything.
It's really good.
When we drink the water from the Nile, we are the same.
You have to come back.
Of course.
And I cannot resist the moment to go back and touch King Farouk's car.
Yes, and see his carpet too, because as I told you,
His carpet.
he gave us a Persian rug,
Oh,
which I have
oh.
in the car.
Oh, you have it
Yes,
in the car.
it's in there. Yes, it's
Oh,
there already.
Fantastic. I discovered that Egyptians left a great effect and memories over people here, just like them leaving great memories and good days in Egypt. Mr. Hercules,
Yes.
since you have King Farouk's car and the carpet, do you have any other personal items or things or presents that you keep?
He gave us a very nice piece of jewelry with the liqueur glasses, which we have in the showcase of this room that you can have a look at. There is a table there, the old Egyptian flag in the room.
Oh my God. Even the bread here looks just like the Egyptian bread in the south of Egypt, that we call it the sun bread. Even the taste is the same. Wow.
I went in 1952 and left after 2.5 years.
Oh, you went 1952 and you
1915.
stayed 2.5 years.
Yes.
So it was just right by the time of the revolution.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. At the beginning of the revolution, I went to Egypt and worked in the Canal de Suez, and I left after there was an agreement, and I was the last civilian who took out the British flag and put up the Egyptian in the Canal de Suez.
Oh,
I handed over.
that's
I
great.
handed over to the Egyptian government. My wife was born in Egypt, was Greek,
Oh, she's-
born in Egypt.
Okay.
Her father and other relatives were working in the Canal de Suez company,
Oh.
and there we met, we married.
So let us know, just tell me about your memories back in Egypt. How did you
In
like
memory,
it?
my memories in Egypt are only good ones, the best ones. As
Good.
I told you, one day my wife entered my office, and I remember I went to the ear of my friend who was sitting and said, "She will be my wife," I said. And she
Oh.
really became my wife.
You just felt it immediately.
Yeah.
It
I
just
thought
hit you.
yes, it was a choice of a few minutes.
So
I'm very happy that I've met her there, and we lived happily.
what's your favorite food? What's like the best dishes that your wife would cook for you, like Egyptian food?
Egyptian food,
Yeah.
what do you call these? Beans,
Food?
full. Full. That's what the,
Food ورايا.
Yes.
The weather is the same, just like Egypt. But there is something different. They don't have pollution, of course. I wonder if there is a solution, if our weather would be the same. At this moment,
I decided to meet with Ms. Ioanna Panayotou, the Environment Commissioner.
How do you see the pollution in Egypt in general? And how is it affecting the environment? And if there is any hope or any plans or any systems or whatever in this particular issue?
Η Αίγυπτος έχει πολύ μεγάλο πρόβλημα ρύπανσης και όσον αφορά τις μεταφορές, τα αυτοκίνητα και όσον αφορά τη βιομηχανία.
Egypt faces big challenges concerning pollution, and that is really obvious in the sector of transport with the emissions and the industry.
Εδώ θα μπορούσαμε να βοηθήσουμε όσον αφορά την εφαρμογή των ευρωπαϊκών οδηγιών που μας οδηγούν σε έναν δρόμο μείωσης της ρύπανσης.
We could cooperate and give a hand to Egypt to make it possible to implement European directives concerning the environment and the emissions.
Υπάρχει τεχνολογία και υπάρχουν και οι νόμοι και στα δύο επίπεδα η Κύπρος μπορεί να βοηθήσει ώστε να έχουμε μία μείωση της ρύπανσης στην Αίγυπτο, γιατί από τη ρύπανση προκύπτουν πολλά προβλήματα και υγείας και περιβάλλοντος.
Cyprus can help Egypt both at the level of legislative work and the expertise and the know-how and the technology for Egypt to be able to tackle the problems that it has concerning the environment and the pollution.
Ναι, είναι το μέλλον της Αιγύπτου. Η ηλιακή ενέργεια είναι σημαντική και η Αίγυπτος επίσης χρειάζεται solar panels για να ζεσταίνει το νερό.
This is indeed the future. Solar energy is indeed the future of Egypt. Egypt could use solar panels for many uses, but specifically we could mention heating the water, for instance.
And it's cheaper and it's cleaner.
I thought maybe I should look for Uncle Mitchell in the villages instead of the city. as if I'm in Egypt. All the sweets here just like the ones we have in our carnivals and festivals. That's made out of peanuts and sesame seeds in the city of Tanta back home. I discovered that the majority of Christians over here are Orthodox, just like Egypt. They apply the same doctrine and prayers. And I didn't forget what Miss Elena told me, that natural gas is the future and the only solution for a clean air in Egypt. Of course, because it's cheaper and cleaner. Exenius set up an appointment for me with Mr. Casinas, and he is one of the most important businessmen who works in oil and gas in Cyprus.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Nader, and I have an appointment with Mr. Casinas.
Mr. Casinas is waiting for you. Come
Okay.
with me.
Thank you.
Are the same culture, and you mentioned Mitchell because the gastronomy is exactly the same between Cyprus and Egyptian.
Exactly.
I'm sure that there are a lot of ways of collaboration between Egypt and Cyprus, and I believe that we shall be in a position with the new drilling program we are doing now to have huge quantities of gas, and in case the need arises, we shall contribute to Egypt. Although I believe personally that Egypt has a lot of gas from their own, they need a new survey. They need to make a different survey so to evaluate the region again and to have much more quantities than what they have today. And I already told them that I am to their disposal to assist in any way they like. I believe that the oil and gas is the tool that will develop the technology in Egypt and will bring prosperity and improve quality of life of the people. I'm sure that together with collaboration between Cyprus and Egypt and the other world will bring political stability above all, and I'm sure that the people at the end of the day will benefit out of this. Once I mentioned that the Mediterranean is going to be the second North Sea oil discoveries and the rest. It's going to be one, and it's going to be very prosperous, and we're going to be the contributors for the whole region and also for Europe. This is going to be the other route that everybody, the fourth corridor they're talking about, it has to come from Mediterranean Sea.
Mr. Petro, I would love to thank you for giving me the time and the opportunity out of your very busy schedule.
It is my pleasure, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with you
You're welcome.
my past experience. Let me first tell you that my first contact with Egypt was back in 1977. I was a young engineer at the time working with Shell, and I went to Egypt to start solar energy systems. But for various reasons, I decided not to stay because the Egyptian partners insisted that I should stay in Egypt and work, and at that time I was not prepared to do so. And if we had started back in '77 the solar system, I'm sure today Egypt would be at a different level. Talking about hopefully the big findings we expect in Eastern Mediterranean, I think it is a great opportunity. The deposits are there is no doubt, and it's up to the governments to work together to develop this to a very, very big project. We shouldn't look at the small picture, and the country should join forces. We will avoid conflicts, but we'll be able to develop the region into a major energy supplier. And remember that it's not just the gas and the oil, it's the big projects that we could start if we manage the gas and the deposits well. It's petrochemicals, it's refineries, and this will give people jobs, which we all need badly. I certainly do, because until a couple of years ago, we were not very sure about the Egyptian support or the Egyptian government willingness to work with Cyprus. But now this is a very strong indication that Egypt and Cyprus could be together in this very big project. We can become, as Eastern Mediterranean, a major supplier of gas and oil, mainly gas, of course, depending on the findings. Provided we join forces, we can have very big plants for petrochemicals, which we don't have in the region. We don't have in the region. Big refineries, which we don't have. Okay, Egypt does have a refinery, but we could develop a bigger size plant here or in the region. But the petrochemicals, which need a lot of investment, billions of investment, will invite in investors, foreign investors who have the money. And the good for us is employment. We will give employment to people, to lots of people, which both countries needed badly.
I got tired, but I didn't give up. Therefore, I decided I won't ask anybody. I will look for him myself. God knows. Oh dear, Uncle Mitchell. You affected me in the past, and you affected me now. But what's very strange in the matter, that I came here to look for someone who is very important to me, and I discovered that there is a lot of things important to me and to my country.
God has blessed us, and I think you have found gas and oil. We are looking for gas and oil.
And remind you one thing above all. Egypt is very prosperous for oil and gas. We have to make more surveys, and you have to find a lot of more gas and oil in the future.
I know the Egyptians like Cyprus.
Egypt has always been a friend to us.
We have the same problems. We have to work together.
We can become, as Eastern Mediterranean, a major supplier of gas and oil.
It's going to be the second North Sea oil discoveries and the rest. It's going to be one.
I thought that love was between me and Uncle Mitchell only. But I found out that love between the two countries is always there, even before I knew Uncle Mitchell. Therefore, I will keep looking for him forever, because love never ends.